How are things going for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? We'll start there. Our good friend Tom Curran reported on Monday. Now, he didn't write it. He said it on the air somewhere, and I called him last night, and we laughed a little bit about how the things you say might not be the same as the things you would write, but the things that you say can and will be used against you. And that's what happened. It got aggregated. It got re-aggregated. I wanted to make sure before I said anything about it, I talked to him. I don't want to aggravate him over aggregating what would have been a third time or at least a second time based upon the write-up at boston.com. So bottom line is, and I need to pause for a second because it's hot in here. I got to put on I got a little fan down here that helps keep me cool when it gets a little warm, because there's a boiler right under my office that heats half of the house. And when it's on, it can get a little toasty in here. So got a little breeze. Hopefully won't be doing too much of the Albert Brooks flop sweat from broadcast news coming up over the course of the next 30 to 45 minutes. And as I say that, it probably will be longer. Anyway, it wouldn't be so long if I would just get to the point and quit babbling. Anyway, Curran reported that after the Patriots lost to the Colts in Germany week 10, team owner Robert Kraft decided to move on from coach Bill Belichick. And that meshes with what Curran believes. And as he and I talked about it, he said something that I kind of believed as a caveat to the idea that the decision that was made after the loss to the Colts will ultimately be implemented when the season ends. If they get hot, and they've already done the unexpected by beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in primetime, if they stay hot, if they beat the Chiefs on Sunday, if they keep winning, if they run the table, 7-10, oh, that's no good. That's not nearly good enough. But if you finish with 5 straight losses, who knows? Maybe that is good enough. Maybe that does get consideration for Bill Belichick to stick around. So let's see how it plays out. Let's see what happens over the course of the next 4 weeks. Let's see whether or not the Patriots, say, win 3 of the final 4. They win 3 of the final 4, who knows what happens. Then, once we get to the end of the season, and I've been saying this for a while, it's one thing to know that he's going to be there or not be there. That's obviously the big decision. But after that comes the question of what form will this divorce take? Will it be a mutual parting, resignation, retirement, firing? Will Robert Kraft try to do something that would be regarded as appropriate and elegant? Will Bill Belichick not go along with that? Will Bill Belichick want to be free and clear so he can join another team without the burden of draft pick compensation? Because any draft pick given up by his new team to secure the ability to employ Bill Belichick is one less draft pick that Bill Belichick will have at his disposal to improve his new team. So I think that is definitely to be determined. And frankly, to the extent that someone who's in a position to know what Robert Kraft is thinking told Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston that the decision to move on was already made after week 10, if Bill Belichick doesn't appreciate that, he might not be inclined to play ball. He might just say, no, fire me. No, I'm not going to agree to some mechanism where I leave and you have dibs on me and you can pinch someone that wants to hire me for a second-round pick or a first-round pick or a first-round pick plus more. No, I'm not doing that. You want me out, you fire me. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow. No days off. Getting ready for next year. Let's go. So Belichick may prevent it from being the arm-in-arm triumphant moment where he graduates to the next phase of his life and then the Patriots end up getting a draft pick back. Kraft will want that. I think Kraft possibly would have considered firing him by now if he wasn't trying to engineer this in a way that gets the Patriots compensation. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just a strategic way to do business. Robert Kraft didn't get this successful by not doing business strategically. Bill Belichick didn't become as successful as he is by not doing business strategically. This is an area where it's going to be difficult for their two competing strategies to be aligned, because Kraft will want something and Belichick will want to go somewhere unfettered by any sort of obligation to compensate the Patriots. Now, who will be in the market for Bill Belichick? That continues to be a very real question. And of course, the more he wins to end the season, the more palatable his arrival might be to a new fan base. A new media corps isn't going to be thrilled with having to deal with Johnny Grumbles, but the fans might get excited if Bill Belichick can close with a nice kick and beat the Chiefs and play spoiler and make things interesting in the AFC, even though they're mathematically eliminated. They can create a little havoc down the stretch if they want to and boost the record and boost his standing. But what we've been doing collectively, I believe, is focusing on just one universe of teams, the non-playoff teams, the dregs of the league, the teams that are desperate for a turnaround from non-playoff contender to playoff contender. And I think the teams that would potentially be on the list, potentially, Buccaneers. I don't think Bill Belichick would be interested in the Buccaneers because I don't think he's going to want to follow the Tom Brady path. Too many apples to apples comparisons if you go to Tampa and fail to do what Tom Brady did there. But the Buccaneers will at least be interested, I believe. And then the question is, beyond the Buccaneers, there's been some talk about the Panthers. That's not going to happen. They're already putting out the word that the Panthers want an offensive coach. And I can't see Bill Belichick and David Tepper, the owner of the team, getting along. But other teams are in this mix. The Chargers and the Commanders. Those are the three. But those are the teams that come from the world of the non-playoff teams. Think about this. There will be 14 playoff teams. There are 13 playoff spots to be determined. Once everyone's in, and we play the first weekend of games, 6 wildcard games, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. Once it all ends, wildcard weekend, where do we stand? Where are we? Are there teams? Is there at least one team that is frustrated by the inability of its head coach to get past the wild card round? Is there a team out there whose owner will say, we've got all the pieces. The thing that's holding us back is the coach. We need a better coach, and Bill Belichick's available. And we can give him what he needs to win because we've already got a playoff team. I'll extend that another weekend. There might be a team out there that loses in the divisional round. Let's say a team that hasn't been to the NFC Championship game since 1995 that feels like it has a great team. What if there's some sort of a boneheaded mistake made by head coach Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys that causes the Cowboys to not make it to the conference championship game? Now, look, on the surface, I think we'd all say, whoa, 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 whoa. There's no way Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick could coexist. Bill Belichick wants to run the show from a total organizational standpoint. Jerry Jones wants to be the one who builds the team. He doesn't want to bow to a Jimmy Johnson again. But what if Belichick's okay with it? You know, Belichick was saying some pretty positive things about Jerry and Stephen Jones before the Patriots played the Cowboys earlier this year. Maybe the strategic thinker is laying the foundation for what he would regard as a perfect next chapter. Michael Parsons has already been compared to Lawrence Taylor, and Bill Belichick knows a thing or two about Lawrence Taylor. You got a quarterback there in Dak Prescott who's having a great year. You put him with Josh McDaniels. Maybe you can make it work. Maybe Belichick, who did in New England what Bill Parcells wasn't able to do. Parcells took a team to a Super Bowl in New England but didn't win it all. He could do it again. Bill Parcells didn't get the Cowboys to an NFC Championship game. Belichick could win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. It's just an example. I don't know anything. I never know anything, but it's looking at where we are. It's understanding the way things work. We've seen this in the past. Coaches get fired after the wild card round. There have been coaches fired after the divisional round. And you've got Bill Belichick available. I'm just saying, let's not get caught up on focusing on the bad teams that need a major overhaul. The right landing spot for Bill Belichick could be a good team that is trying to be great and simply needs a great coach to turn it around. Now, here's what you're dealing with if you go that route. You're dealing with the culture shock that we often see when a Belichick assistant goes to a new team, like Matt Patricia to Detroit, Josh McDaniels to Las Vegas, Josh McDaniels to Denver. When you have an established culture in a locker room, and it's a successful team, are they going to submit to the Patriot way, taken to some other place? That's going to be part of the challenge, but it's Bill Belichick. Hey, you want to be great? You want to win a Super Bowl? You want to be contenders? Yeah, it's one thing to be disrespected in the meeting rooms by one of Belichick's lieutenants. When Belichick does it, you just take it because everybody regards him as the greatest coach in the NFL. So, point is this. Let's not just look at the non-playoff teams. Let's understand that the wild card round and maybe the divisional round will produce a team whose owner thinks to himself or herself, I got to get a better coach. I got to go get Bill Belichick. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.